Hello, bonjour, and welcome everybody. My name is Milena Audino. I am the Business Information Officer here at the World Trade Center, Winnipeg. Thank you for joining today's webinar, Trade Show Essentials, Do's, Don'ts, and Smart Strategies. I would like to begin today's webinar with our land acknowledgement. We acknowledge that we are gathered on the lands of Treaty 1 territory and that Manitoba is located on the traditional and ancestral lands of the Anishinaabe, Anishinaabeg, Denisovan, and Dakota Oyeate nations. We acknowledge we're also on the homelands of the Red River Métis and that northern Manitoba includes lands that were and are the ancestral lands of the Inuit. The World Trade Center Winnipeg team respects the treaties that were made on these territories and acknowledges the harms and mistakes of the past and present throughout our nation. Before we begin, I just want to share a couple of housekeeping items. So number one, please send all of your webinar questions directly in the chat box at the top of your screen, and we'll try to answer as many questions as we can. And then we also have a Q&A session at the end. And then lastly, you'll also receive a PDF copy and a recording of this presentation within the next week. So now it's time to start our webinar. So I would like to introduce you to Yewande Alubawale and Tamir Maharaj. Yewande is a trade advisor here with the World Trade Center, Winnipeg. She's a seasoned banking professional with a comprehensive background in operations, customer service, trade finance, and project delivery. She holds an MBA, a certificate in management and administration, a PMP certification, and holds her CITP designation. Tamir is also a trade advisor with the World Trade Center Winnipeg and brings practical experience of having worked on an international business startup as part of an exchange program at the Amsterdam University of Applied Sciences International Business Program. He also holds a degree in economics from the University of Manitoba. So welcome, Yewande and Tamir. The floor is all yours.
Thanks for the introduction. So I'll start by going over the goals of today's webinar. So the goal of this webinar is to help you succeed in your domestic or international trade show events, whether they're in person, virtual, or hybrid. And to do this, it's crucial to understand the different types of trade shows and how they relate to international trade. This will help you with your positioning and your own strategy when attending trade shows. So we're going to go over how to assess whether a trade show is a good idea, tips for pre-show and post-show strategies, and how to maximize your trade show impact and tap into available funding and support. So we'll start off with why attend a trade show. So why you attend a trade show is going to depend on what your goals are. There's a variety of different reasons why you would attend a trade show. They offer an excellent opportunity for networking, growth, and learning about new tools and trends in your industry. We'll start with the networking opportunity. Trade shows will serve as a hub for industry connections. They'll bring together professionals, experts, and decision makers from your field. And by participating, you'll have the opportunity to meet potential partners, clients, or mentors. These face-to-face connections will lead to valuable relationships that you wouldn't be able to obtain through other means. Next is if you're going to launch a new product or want to build market exposure. If you're looking to introduce a new product or service, a trade show offers the perfect platform to showcase your offering to people that are interested in your industry. It's an excellent opportunity to make a positive impression and get immediate feedback from your target audience. In the similar vein as lead generation, people often go to trade shows to find new products and services. This is a good opportunity for you to connect with people already searching for a product or service that you may offer. It's an efficient way to fill your sales pipeline with new potential customers. Competitor insights. Attending a trade show provides a unique chance to observe your competitors in action. You'll gain valuable insights into their strategies, offerings, and how they interact with their customers. This can all help you refine your own business strategies. Lastly is keeping up with trends. Trade shows offer an excellent opportunity to discover the latest products and ideas in your industry. This will help you stay ahead of the game and make smart decisions for your business. When evaluating the value of attending a trade show, make sure you're clear on the reason for why you're attending, as the cost may change depending on what you're doing. You may not need to pay to exhibit and can simply send a staff member to participate in the show if all you want to do is network or gather competitor insights. If you're launching a new product, your costs may increase and you might need to assess if the ROI is justified for getting a booth. So some considerations you need to make when selecting a trade show. We'll discuss some key considerations before going to any show. So over the past 2 decades, communication technology has evolved significantly, especially with COVID-19, and the development still continues. We can use digital tools, especially online platforms related to the show. There are many opportunities to utilize these online resources in combination with WTC's market research to help create a list of companies and key contacts for your outreach before, during, and after the event. It's important to take note of the tools you might not be using. For example, consider if your event has upgraded packages that include online tools such as online networking platforms or meeting booking applications. We also want to consider safety concerns. So traveling can present a variety of different issues that need to be considered. For instance, there could be health concerns such as COVID-19 or additional safety risks such as geopolitical tensions and customs as well. So we want to make sure that we take these key factors into account before and are prepared with alternative strategies for event planning. We also want to make sure we invest in staff is another important consideration. Even if you have a ton of experience with trade shows, it's important to continually educate and understand different cultural dynamics and develop a proper strategy or game plan. This will all be critical when we present ourselves professionally at a trade show. Circular business models are becoming a more important consideration in today's market. There's an increasing pressure and growing regulatory environment that promotes more sustainable practices. So we can try to incorporate these models into your trade show strategy. Consider the concepts of corporate social responsibility and sustainability. For instance, you might choose to use a less glossy material and leverage the technologies more efficiently, like a TV or an iPad. These practices could significantly enhance your visitors' experience with your booth. We also want to know what the trade show rules are. Especially if you're traveling internationally, make sure you understand any customs and visa requirements, and if there's any restrictions on bringing samples. Especially for food and beverage companies, decide whether you're going to ship your products or carry them with you, and what documents need to accompany them. It's essential that we choose the right trade show that aligns with our objectives. Once you are ready, consider the tactical strategy guidelines for your booth design and planning. It's also important to know your target market and follow your market trends in your industry, especially when you're deciding what trade shows to prioritize for your company, because you might only be able to pick a few to go to during the year. So you want to make sure we're choosing the right ones. World Trade Center Winnipeg can also help with making a list of relevant trade shows for you to look through. Due diligence is going to be key, and it's worth doing the research. Make sure that we navigate to the trade show's website, familiarize yourself with the time and place of the show, and review the previous year's exhibitor list, sponsors, and any keynotes. When we're just starting to choose the trade show we want to attend, sometimes people prefer to walk the show a year before as a participant rather than exhibitor. This way you can speak with customers and other exhibitors, getting a better overview of what the show is going to be like. We also want to make sure we conduct our own market research, and it's essential to examine any statistics and demographics of previous events, including the turnout, so that we can set realistic expectations when we attend. I'll now go into some pre-trade show strategies. So for food and beverage companies, a trade show is more than just a marketing event. It's a market entry tool. The companies that get results aren't always the ones with the best product, they're the ones who show up most prepared. So let's walk through what really matters before attending a trade show. First, like I said before, we want to start with clear objectives. Before we sign up for a trade show or book any flights, we need to make sure we know what success is going to look like. Are we trying to generate leads, find a new distributor, or launch a new product? These objectives should guide all of your decisions, from which trade show you attend to who you target and to what your booth looks like. We want to make sure that we plan early. Once we commit to a show, start planning right away. Early preparation gives you time to solve any problems that arise, refine your message, and build stronger strategies. Use email, social media, and press releases to let people know you'll be in attendance and what they can expect at your booth. You want buyers to recognize your name before they even see your booth. Make sure that you're export ready. This is crucial, especially for food and beverage companies. Before you go, make sure your product, packaging, and any certifications you must meet before you enter a new market. For example, Manitoba Snack Company planned to attend Nuga in Germany. Their packaging worked perfectly in Canada, but before the trade show, they realized they needed different EU nutrition panels and different allergen information to ensure they were compliant with labeling and packaging standards. So they rushed and created a EU compliant labels just in time for the trade show. This one step helped change everything. Now, when buyers stop by their booth, they could have real business conversations instead of being turned away for compliance reasons. We also want to make sure we line up meetings in advance of the trade show. Don't just rely on foot traffic. Reach out in advance to any key contacts, buyers, distributors, or brokers that you want to meet with. Have a clear message and choose one product or service to spotlight. Focus creates clarity, and clarity will attract the right partners. Here's another example. A Manitoba sauce company entering the US market didn't just wait for people to walk by their booth. Before the show, they built a list of Midwest distributors and booked meetings in advance. They arrived with pricing and compliance ready for export. This preparation helped turn just a trade show into a signed distributor agreement. We want to make sure we're investing in our booth and materials. Your booth should be engaging, professional, and aligned with your brand. If you don't have an in-house design team or support, you might want to consider working with a trade show service provider that can help make a big difference. Your materials matter just as much as your booth. Your booth is going to act like your storefront. Make sure that you have clear visuals and banners, simple, strong value propositions, and business cards with QR codes. We also want to make sure that our products are well packaged and we have professional samples. Everything should feel credible, polished, and culturally appropriate. Lastly is to train your team. Everyone working at the booth should be able to deliver a clear elevator pitch, explain your value proposition, and know how to qualify a lead and understand when to follow up. Trade shows move fast, and preparation ensures that every conversation can count. We want to make sure that we have a proper lead capture system. Make sure it's easy to capture the right information, whether you're using a digital scanner or simple forms. Your system should help your team record who the contact is, what they're interested in, and how serious of an opportunity it is. This way, after the show, you can follow up strategically and turn conversations into actual business. I'll now pass it over to Yuandi to go over some strategy during the trade show.
Thank you, Tamira. So I'll be talking about what happens during the trade show, because that's where all the preparations really start to pay off. So first thing, you want to arrive early. It gives you time to get familiar with the venue, sort out any last-minute setups, and even network with other exhibitors before the floor gets busy. This early window is important because it's quiet, it's a bit calm, and it gives you a chance to build rapport with people on the floor. Next is make sure your booth is properly staffed. Always have at least 2 people working the booth so you can manage conversations and stay engaged with attendees. And if you're in another province or another country, especially where language or culture is different, hiring a local representative can make a big difference in how your message is received. Trade shows are also long days, so you need to plan for long hours, wear comfortable clothing in layers, supportive shoes, and bring refillable water bottles. You might also need extra power source, like rechargeable lamps or batteries, depending on the setup. During the trade show, you also want to remember that it's not all about selling, it's also to listen. Trade shows are live market research tools. So you can use the trade show to test pricing and packaging. I'll give an example. A Manitoba beverage company that's going into the US. So the trade show, thinking that their price was competitive, but buyers kept saying like, oh, we love the product, but it's too expensive. So you want to make sure that we love the product, but it's too expensive. So instead of ignoring those information, you could ask for that to, you want to learn about the size, you want to learn, maybe they complained about the case size, maybe the distributor margins, and then the freight cost. So that one trade show gave an insight that they need to fix, and also what their export pricing will be. So trade show actually gives you the truth. When you are engaging with visitors, making meaningful, ask open-ended questions, and find out what they really need. Also the challenges they are facing and how the products can really serve and help them. Don't forget your elevator pitch. A well-crafted pitch helps you to avoid overloading people with information. So be concise, be clear, be ready. Also manage your time wisely. If someone stops for a casual chat, especially in your hometown market, it's okay to be friendly, but don't let it pull you away from your potential buyers who is genuinely interested in your business. So try to strike a balance between appearing busy and also being approachable. You want your booth to look attractive and engaging, but also open enough that people feel welcome to step in. You also want to consider offering promotional giveaways like branded swags or eco-friendly items that align with your company's mission. It's also good to choose things that people would actually use and reuse so that your brand stays visible long after the trade show ends. Networking is huge. You want to connect with potential customers, partners, and industry influencers. So don't just wait for people to come to you. Approach attendees who fit your target profile, engage them in conversations about their needs and how your offerings can provide value. Also take advantage of networking opportunities beyond the booth. During breaks, at seminars, or even at the evening event. So carry your business cards along, be ready to make connections, and when you have meaningful conversations, make sure to collect their cards too. You also want to monitor performance during the event, track your booth traffic, the visitor interactions, and lead quality. So if something is not working, you want to quickly adjust your tactics in real time, stay focused on your products and services, and keep refining your approach. Finally, I'll say keep your social media presence active. Share live updates and post highlights from the event. It's a great way to extend your reach beyond the show floor and keep the momentum going afterwards. Next is I'll be talking about the trade show strategy, or what happens after the trade show. So now the trade show have come to an end and you've done a great job. But as we know, the real value of trade show isn't just what happens on the floor, but what you do afterwards. I would say once you get home, first thing is you want to try and debrief within the first 1 or 2 days. Sit with your team, talk about what went well, what didn't go well, and also what surprised you. Be honest and constructive. You also want to know if the message landed. Did your booth attract the right people? Were there any hiccups you need to learn from? So this gives you a chance to capture the highlights while they are still fresh. Next is you want to sort out the quality of leads that you have. You've got a stack of contacts, but not all the leads are created equal. Sort them into hot leads, warm leads, and cold. Who is ready to talk business? Who needs nurturing? And who are those that were just browsing? So the goal here is to enable you prioritize follow-ups. Next is timely personal follow-up. You want to follow up quickly within the next 2 to 5 days. You should be sending personalized emails, reference the conversations, share relevant materials, and suggest the next step. So for strong leads, book a call or a meeting. Book a meeting with them, and also send samples if need be. So a timely follow-up shows that you are serious and it keeps the momentum going. You also want to keep your online engagement going. Don't forget your social media. Post highlights from the trade show, photos, wins, shout out to your attendees, organizers, tag them, thank them, and keep the conversation alive. It's a great way to stay visible, and it shows that you're active in the industry. So make sure everything also is captured in your CRM notes, like the contact information, follow-up actions. This keeps your pipeline clean and helps you to track progress. If it is not logged, it probably didn't happen. So stay organized. Also, you want to evaluate what your return on investment is. So did you hit the goals that you have set? How many leads were generated? Was it worth it? And what would you do differently? It helps you to decide how you want to approach future trade shows. Nurture your relationships as well. So if someone is not ready to buy today, it doesn't mean that they are not a future customer. So you want to stay connected on LinkedIn, share relevant content, and keep the relationship warm. So for Manitoba businesses, for you to succeed, it's not just because you've attended the trade show. It's more of being properly prepared. You want to listen carefully and also follow up consistently. And also this helps you to adjust your strategy as you keep attending, future trade shows. Next, I'll be talking about how to maximize your trade show impact. Showing up, is just the beginning of trade shows, but also how you show up and while you are there, what you do makes all the difference. First thing, try as much as possible to be engaged. I know that trade shows can be long days, but energy and presence, they go a long way. Whether you're at the booth, whether you're walking the floor, grabbing a coffee, be approachable, be curious, and be ready to chat. People remember genuine conversations more than the flashy booth displays. So let's make sure that we are not just standing behind the table, but we are leaning in, asking questions, and making connections. Now, one of the best ways that make connections count is to book B2B sessions ahead of time. So there are opportunities to sit down with potential buyers, partners, or collaborators in a more focused setting. If the show offers a matchmaking platform or scheduled meetings, take advantage of it. If not, reach out directly, send a quick message, introduce yourself, and suggest a time to meet. Another key move is identifying your buyers and distributors in attendance. Don't wait for them to find you. Do your homework. Check their attendees list if it's available. Ask around, and also you want to keep an eye on the name badges and company logos. So when you spot someone who fits your target profile, start a conversation. Ask about their needs, their challenges, and how your solutions might help. And finally, don't limit yourself to the trade show floor. Some of the best networking happens outside the official hours, at receptions, maybe dinners, seminars, and even casual meetups. These events are often more relaxed and people are more open to chatting. So attending those sessions, mingle, and be ready to talk about your work in a way that is natural and engaging. When you go for trade shows, especially international trade shows, you're not just showcasing your product, you are signaling to buyers that you're export ready. So every country, every province, they might have different rules. And that includes what ingredients are allowed, if there are beverages, how is alcohol handled. So just because your product sells well in your own market doesn't mean that it will automatically enter into another market. Labeling is another big one. most countries or provinces might require labels in local language. They want to, and even things like your health claims, like marketing, your marketing language can cause problems. So if they're not compliant, you might have issues. Buyers also pay attention to food and safety certifications. So things like your CFI compliance, even domestically, buyers want to know that you understand food safety expectations and you can, that will scale up responsibly. Finally, don't forget about sampling. You may need permits or pre-approval. So just because you're in Canada doesn't mean that sampling is automatically allowed. Rules can vary by province or even the venue. So you want to know the rules of the trade show ahead of time so that you can plan accordingly. I'll be talking about funding as well. So when we talk about going to trade shows and expanding into new markets, one of the biggest questions is always, oh, how do we get funding for this? And the good news is, for food and bev, you have access to some really good funding support. First is, if you're just starting to explore funding options, I would always recommend checking on our website. We have an AI tool called Fundica. You'll be able to use your business profile to match relevant funding or grants or tax credits or any investor programs across Canada. And this will save you hours of research. It's also free to use, so you can reach out to us and we can share the link with you. Also in Manitoba, we have some funding support. We have the Export Support Program. It has the Export Development Program, which would help cover the cost of exhibiting or attending trade shows and trade missions outside Manitoba. It always includes like the booth space, registration, travel, accommodation, and even market research. We also have the Incoming Buyers Program. It helps companies bring international buyers to Manitoba. So you can showcase your facility, your products, and the production capacities instead of having to travel all the time. And for agri-food and food processors, Manitoba also have the SCAP program, that's Sustainable Canadian Agricultural Partnership, which can support export readiness, international marketing, and participating in B2B trade events. So those programs are designed to help Manitoba companies reduce risk and grow into global markets. And of course, here at the World Trade Center, we offer full suite of services to help you prepare for international trade shows or to expand internationally. So whether you need help with market intelligence, trainings, and also maybe one-on-one advisory support, we are here to help you. Across Canada, we have a couple of food and beverage trade shows as well. There's CIAL, and you could get government support for that. You also have the CHFA trade show. Also, there's the Restaurant Canada show and some other ones that are product specific. We also have the American International Food and Beverage Trade Show that is in Miami. You have the Expo Antad. That's one of the largest trade shows in Mexico. It's dedicated to retail sectors and is one of the premier food and beverage exhibitions. And I also like to talk about the World Trade Center Association Global Forum. That's World Trade Center here, Winnipeg, will be hosting a delegate to the Global Business Forum. And this year it's happening in Philadelphia. So if US is a priority and you like to broaden your international connection, it would be an ideal place to meet people from around the world, build strategic global connections. So attending a trade show for the first time can be a significant opportunity for your business. By the end of the day, trade shows are about showing up with purpose, connecting with people, and making sure that your brand leaves a lasting impression. So you have to be intentional, stay friendly, and make every moment count. Also, consistent follow-up is one of the secrets to turning trade shows into conversations, trade show conversations into a lasting business relationships. So now we'll go to question and answers.
All right, well, I will include some upcoming webinars and events if there are no questions. You could even email to me or Yewande. They're available if you do have any questions later on. But here are a couple of our upcoming events. So thank you to everybody who joined this webinar, and hopefully we will see you guys online again soon.